And we're locked in. Joining us via Locked In Satellite Radio, Mitchell Chamale, promoter of Combat Night. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. You forgot to add best promoter in Florida. Sorry, Dean Tool.
Damn.
Wow, here we go. Combat Island, here we go.
Yes, Combat Island indeed. That's just going to happen one day. You guys watch.
Nope.
Is that breaking news? Like it's official? Locked in?
No, we haven't locked it in yet, but, you know, me and Dean are super good friends.
Yeah.
And that's gonna happen down the road. It's just a matter of figuring out some moving parts and what town and all that good stuff. But Combat Island is 100%. It'll happen probably the next year or two.
Yeah, and Mitchell, Dean said nothing but the best things about you, man. We had a great time. Island Fights 50 it was this past weekend over there at Pensacola. And yeah, no, Dean is the man for sure, but he said a lot of great things about you. We're excited for Clash of the Titans. Our schedule just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, man. I enjoy working with Anthony, man. Arvello, he's very passionate about what he does, and it's very hard. You know, I only click with a few promoters in the state because I truly believe they're passionate. Guys like Anthony Arvello and Dean Toole and Daniel Donaldson down at Rise of a Warrior. These guys just you see it like seeping. You know, they love what they're doing, and you can see it because their events are great.
Yeah, and Clash of the Titans 1 was a huge success at OLE. So I can't even imagine what Clash of the Titans 2 is. I'm sure you guys learned from the first time after that spectacular performance. That kind of leads me to my first question then. So after Clash of the Titans 1, is there anything changing or anything you wanted to really improve going into Clash of the Titans 2?
Yeah, I think we really fucked up. Sorry, excuse my language.
No, you say whatever you want.
Yeah, you
here.
can fucking cuss on this show, buddy.
fuck yeah. Well, then we fucked up. The co-main and the main event, we started doing individual fights when we got to the championship fights.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but we were running them simultaneously at the same time. And then when we got to the championship fights, we decided to do them one at a time. Yeah. You know, wanting to get the champions the spotlight. And we saw the crowd start to walk out, right? Like we gave them this high-paced, energetic night all night. And then we just slowed it down after they had been there for like 3 hours and tried to So I think that is something I'm pretty sure we both agreed at this point where we're just going to run the fights at the same time all night instead of stopping and doing one fight at a time. There were no hiccups as far as like a fighter hearing the bell over there or the fighter hearing the bell from that nothing like that happened. So other than that, I think everything went great. Events are crazy. You never know what's going to happen. Shit changes frequently at these events. So, who knows what'll fucking go wrong this event, but we'll fix it.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, you were talking about Anthony Arvello and about promoters. If another promoter that you didn't respect, you didn't get along with, but it was a shitload of money coming your way, if you guys would have okay. I love it. I respect that. I really do. I was hoping for that answer, and I kind of knew it, but I was trying to show how I was going to show the people how great of a guy you are. So I was,
man, I've and this isn't. I guess it's. I'm not meaning this as a brag, but I've had multiple promoters, and people hit me up and want to work with me and do an event together. And I really don't. If I don't gel with you as a person and what you're doing in the sport, if I think you're trying to bastardize it or make money off of it, or you're not doing it justice, then I just don't want to work with somebody like that. I want to work with somebody that's as passionate as me, and I want someone that can keep up. I don't want somebody who's always looking at the money, or this is make the most money, but it's going to sacrifice, a fan's experience or a fighter's experience. Like, nah, fuck that. It's definitely fighters first and then fans. And there's not a lot of promoters out there like that. So it's not bashing them. Like, it's a business, right? At the end of the day, it's a business. So I can't bash a promoter for wanting to put their money first or for wanting to put, money in their pocket before they take care of people. But for me, it's got to be fighters first. And there's not a lot of, like I said, Dean Toole, Daniel Donaldson. Those are the type of guys that I would work with.
That's awesome. Chase management, not money, a wise man once said. So that's what you're doing.
Yep.
I will. Okay, so you've had so many excellent fighters already in the past competing on Combat Night. Obviously, it's only moving forward. Is there a fighter or fight in particular that stands out to you most where maybe may not get the most recognition or attention, but once fans are in the building, locked in, OLE, they'll be like, wow, they walk away from that event and say that was the fight of the night?
You know, there is it, as far as not on the radar that maybe should be on the radar. Um, nah, I mean the main fight that I think people are going to be real excited about is Valentine Woodburn, and he's fighting Brenton Burner over from Jacksonville, and both of these guys, they come at it and they want to fight, but that's the main event, so it's kind of like expected that's going to be a good fight. A fight that on paper might not look that good because of the records. Carlos Barrera out of Dark Wolf. He's actually one of Christian Losein's guys. He's 5-4, and he's fighting a guy named Luxembourg Leonard out of American Combat Club, and Lux is undefeated. Great guy, super athletic, super good dude, just all around good dude. And people might think of that, look at that, and be like, oh, they're just giving Lux, a win because this guy's 5-4. But Carlos is 5-1 in his last 6 fights, so he comes to fight, and Lux comes to fight. So that's probably gonna be a really good fight. Even though on paper the record doesn't look like it's gonna be a good fight, but it'll definitely be a really good fight. I mean, we've got a lot of new people on this card, man. It's kind of hard to pick out. Fights. Another one I'm excited about is our kickboxing heavyweight title. We got Chris Horn from ATT Longwood fighting Justin Henselin from Extreme Gracie out in Claremont.
Nice.
And these boys, they already fought once, so it's a rematch. But I mean, it was literally 3 rounds of guys just touching gloves and throwing punches. Touching gloves and throwing punches.
I love
Same
that.
thing. Yeah, and they're big boys. They're heavyweights, so you don't really expect heavyweights to be throwing like that. So I'm excited to see that, and I'm glad we're able to put a title in the rematch. But it's a lot, like I said, we got a lot of debut guys on this event, so I'm looking forward to just discovering some new talent, some new Chris Mixons.
There you go.
He is a talent.
For sure.
Talking about that, we were just at Island Fights. We're talking about Clash of the Titans. There's so many talent here in Florida, amateur or pro. What's a guy off the tip of your tongue? I know you travel so much, they go to so many different gyms. What's a guy that's underrated to you? Could be an amateur, could be even a professional that doesn't get the credit he or she deserves.
Troy Worthen, he's my roommate. So
I love that guy.
I can be considered completely biased on this, but he's not very talked about. He's not feared. But he's 4-0 as a pro, and he was, I think, 8-1 as an amateur, and his only loss was a split decision to a guy who was like equally 8-1 or something, like some crazy record. He's beat guys like Moises Robles, who is an amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner, and he beat him on the ground. He took him down and fought some really tough submissions, and he's beat guys standing up. He's knocked people out. I think he's one that's definitely underrated. I don't know why. But I have no problem finding him fights. Actually, it's for the like he's had issues in the past finding fights, but I think people think he's one-dimensional, that he's a wrestler. So he's one for me that really stands out just because I deal with him a lot. I think Christian Losein's super underrated too. Kind of the same story as Troy though. Is he's got a really good ground. I think people aren't scared of getting submitted or of getting wrestled. They're scared of getting knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
But Christian also has decent hands. He'll stand and throw with you, and he'll land some good shots. He's rocked some people in his fights. So it's just that once he rocks you or once he gets you backing up, he wants to take you down and submit you. But it's just like they see all these submissions on their records and they think, oh, the guy's just a submission artist, not realizing that, he rocked the guy before he submitted him.
Yeah.
He looked awesome at Island Fights 50.
He really did.
Had what we thought was easily the submission of the night.
Yeah, it was smooth. His transitions were incredible. He looked very comfortable. And, for such a young kid, a young athlete, he looked very comfortable in there. He felt comfortable in every aspect of the fight, and obviously it showed. He had a spectacular submission.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely enjoys fighting. And, man, he's super lanky, and he has that awkward range length.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use it, and he's flexible. I train with him a lot too. I see him over at Fusion and at ATT Orlando with Paul Rodriguez, and he's just that guy, man. He's like a sloth. He's not super, explosive. But he just finds a way around your neck, or he finds your way around, your leg or your arm, and it's like, how the fuck did you get here? But yeah, he's another guy. Like I said, I think people really are looking past him because, again, he's pretty easy to find fights for too. But I think it's because people just aren't scared of people. People are scared of people like Alex Nicholson, who if they're gonna knock you out. They hit you, they touch you, you're getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that'd be two pros. If I had an amateur that amateur off the top of my head, I don't think I have one. I think these a lot of there's a lot of studs coming through the game. There's a lot of talented guys that are, you know, got every aspect: wrestling, striking, jiu-jitsu. The sport's evolving so fast; it's kind of scary.
Mitchell, I have to interrupt you real quick because before we move on to the next subject, real quick on Christian, because I was watching the fight. Dave and I were watching it. So he had this guy in the armbar, and I'm like, I thought the guy tapped. And he's like, dude, I was bending it in every which way. I don't know how it didn't. It was adrenaline. One of the funniest things he said is, well, you can't adrenaline your way out of a choke. I was like, wow, this kid is he's something else. Because then he was the first one in the arena, and we're setting up, and we see him like feeling the canvas, and he's just moving around, visualizing the fight. So he definitely has that it factor to him. He's driven. His head is on right. So nothing but good things to say about him.
100% agree. Yeah. All the fighters are there, Mitchell. The arena's open, but Christian's the first one in the damn ring. He's paying attention. He pays attention to every little detail. He's a future stud. He's a stud already, but he's a future champion. I can't wait. The future's real bright for him.
And, you know, something you guys don't know, I got two really funny stories about Christian.
Bring him.
He is super attention to detail, right?
Yeah.
And that kid will talk your ear off. But he's good. He's like the nicest, most good-hearted person I've really come across in the sport. I've and I met a lot of good people, but he's like just genuinely passionate. He loves it. And like when I go to train, I'm at the training session to train. I'm not there to promote. I'm not there to, some people might think, oh, he's just training because he wants to poach the fighters or he wants to, be buddy. But no, I'm there to punch the guys in the face and get punched in the face and feel alive for an hour and a half. Like it's really for me. It's like it keeps me sane.
Yeah.
But Kristen will come up to me and talk to me for 20 minutes about the fights, about combat night, about the plan and this and that. And I'm like, Christian, man, I'm here to train, bro. I don't care. I mess with people sometimes. Jeremiah McDougal one time was trying to talk about fighting. And I was like, Jeremiah, yo, man, what kind of plans you offer at Sprint? And he was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, man, you got some unlimited plans. Let me know. Like, I'm looking to get this Sprint. And he's like, oh, I get it. Like, I get it. Yeah, man. Like, I'm not at work right now. I'm your training partner. Like, don't talk to me about work. Let me train.
Down to business.
But like I said, again, he's a great dude. I give him a hard time about it. I love the guy. He's a really good guy. And then the second funny story is how me and Christian actually started working together. So Christian hit me up a long time ago to fight professionally with us. And RFC ended up offering him a contract. He went fought for RFC, whatever. So I'm going to RFC. I always like to support local events. I'm there. I'm watching. And Christian's fighting. He wins. Like, oh, he's a good guy. So I go back and watch another fight, his second fight, and he gets dropped and then gets up and drops the other guy and ends up boom submitting him like crazy. It was a one round fight. It lasted like 3 or 4 minutes. Crazy round, nonstop action. And the other kid's like a stud in Tampa. It was these guys shouldn't have been fighting each other this early in their careers. But it was the only fight that both of them, like, they both accepted it, whatever. So they took it. But I invited him to my show. I was like, hey, man, you live near me. I want to give you and your family VIP tickets. Come out and watch the show. It's an amateur show. Just whatever. I was liking the kid as a fighter. Like I was a fan of his. And he comes out, and I always want to get feedback. Like if I end up comping somebody a ticket, I want feedback from them. I want honest feedback. And I'll tell him, like, yo, if you don't like something, tell me. And he's like, man, your event was amazing. And he's like, but there was one thing. And I was like, what's that? And he was like, they were cussing in the walkout songs. In my head, I was like, what? A fighter? This kid's a fighter? And he's like, that's his critique, is like they're cussing in the walkout songs. I mean, I love it because he's being honest. Yeah. And he knows that I'm trying to provide a family-friendly atmosphere. So it's great feedback. But that's just not what you expect to hear from a fighter. Yeah. So he's like he's really wholesome and like a good-hearted kid guy. I feel weird saying kid when I punch him in the face, but he punches me in the face too, so I don't want to get hit by a kid either. But he's a young guy, and he's the total package, but in a completely different way than anything the UFC really has right now. Like he's that really wholesome, like kid next door, like good guy, do anything for you, take the shirt off his back for you. And he's real exciting too. So He's got something different that I think will be good once he makes it to the UFC.
Yeah, fighting wise, we gave him the example of Damian Maia. That's how he kind of reminded us how he fights. He's got a big, heavy hand, stand up, but if you get him on the ground, it's submission game. So that's what Max and I thought a little
very
bit.
Slick.
You had 2 good stories, so I got a good story, and it's about you.
Cool.
We were at the show in Orlando at Gilt 4 months ago. It was July, I remember, because you had a sick American suit on, so you know where we're at.
July 7th.
Yes, sir, July 7th. My wife and baby at that time was around 11 months, maybe a year old, a little bit older than that. And we bought regular tickets. Same thing. We love to help. We're at all the events now, and we just bought regular seats, and we were standing, and the place was packed. To be bluntly honest, it was more packed than I thought, and we were, chin to chin. We were elbow to elbow with everyone in the crowd. We walk around, and we see you. And upstairs at Gilt, there's a little bit more room, a little bit more couches. And I look at you, man to man, father to a father. I'm like, hey, is there any way we can kind of get up there? I have a 1-year-old. And you looked at me, I had no effing problem, Dave. Here's the pass, go up there. My family was safe. We had a great night. That was when Chris Mixon won the championship. So I just want to say thank you, man. I really appreciate that. You're a great guy.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, that's, it's so funny. A lot of times people see a promoter and they have an issue, and they usually come at me like sideways. Like I literally, like, very seldom to have someone approach me in a nice way if they're having a problem. And man, I want to do whatever I can to make you happy. Like, I want to make everyone happy. It's not just because I know you through the podcast and Pete White and, like, you're a good dude. It's just like, if I didn't even know who you were and you were in that same situation, like, I'm taking care of you.
That's what makes you a good promoter. Now, my story's not as sentimental. I kind of looked at you. You made eye contact with me. You gave me the head nod. I'm like, all right, this guy's awesome. but you're a great promoter, really. And I have, like, so many questions to ask you, but it's kind of like you go to all these gyms, you're sparring, you're competing, and word on the street, no matter what arena we go to, no matter what event, you're legit, Mitchell. Like, I hear nothing but good things about you, not as a promoter, just as a fighter. I'm not trying to rush you back into that octagon, but can you kind of break some news? Is it in the back of your head? Are you making an appearance anytime soon? Because I want to see you compete.
Man, probably not. I had an opportunity pop up in Russia, and I was really stoked about it. Tough dude. He was 9'5", and it was going to be on the same card that Jim fought on.
Yeah, I was going to say Jim was over there, right?
Jim fought. It was end of August.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll get to fight on the card with Jim. And, like, my last goal, I have one goal left, so I have to walk to that cage one more time. My last goal is to fight out of the country. But I was so stoked, like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be out of the country. I can fulfill that last goal. It's a good opponent for me. He was he just, like, slung big overhand rights and wanted to wrestle, and I have really good jiu-jitsu, so I was like, fuck yeah, that's great for me. But I couldn't find my passport, and I was supposed to corner Jim over there too. Man, the way you have to do your visa, you have to send your passport to Washington D.C. and you have to do all this stuff and jump through all these hoops. And I drove down to Miami and tried to get a passport printed same day. They told me that it had to be like a medical family emergency or a death, like something crazy. And I didn't meet the criteria because I was just going for, I told them work. But that would have been great. I wanted to do that. I don't want to tell anyone when I do. Like, when I take the fight, like, no one's gonna really know. I'm just gonna go fight. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm so worried about letting people down around me that I just want to do it, and it's about me. It's like, I've never fought for me. So I will do one more, but it'll be a fight for me, and no one will know about it. It'll be after the fact. I'm sure there'll be video. This is 2018, 2019, so there's going to be video. But yeah, that's it. I'll fight one more time, but I enjoy training with the guys. I enjoy helping people get ready for their fights. I love it. It's my passion. It's what I want to do every day. Every day I want to be in that gym and I want to be training some way, some form. But as far as, like, any ambition to, like, get to the UFC or something, like, man, that cage, anything can happen. And I got a kid now. Yeah. And to me, it's more important for me to know you remember my kid, when I'm 50 years old, and be able to have a conversation and not be stuttering or drooling or, and I'm not saying that's what happens to everybody, but one wrong punch and you could end up really, really bad. I know I have friends who have suffered pretty bad injuries in the cage, and it's nothing to take lightly. And I can't be in there 100% dedicated and focus on it because of combat night and because of my family. So, it's not something I would take lightly when I did take the fight, but it's not something I'm trying to like make a career out of anymore. It's just I got more important things.
For sure.
Mitchell, I got my passport ready. So when your fight happens, we will be there.
Give
We
your
won't
heads up,
tell
right?
anybody. We'll have it on Locked In Live, and we'll definitely be there for you, my man.
Mitchell, now this is very serious. On Instagram, you probably have the most factual lives I've ever seen, and it just not only affects the fighters, it affects like anybody. Just, I mean, for us looking for sponsors. What made you come up with that idea?
So there's a bunch of things, and I've always wanted to connect to the people more, and I'm getting to the point where I have a hard time remembering people's names, and like because I meet so many people, and it's hard for me to really have those interactions individually and those discussions individually with like fighters, because I get asked a lot. Fighters all the time hit me up for help and this and that. So that was one. I wanted to be able to reach more people and maybe talk to people who weren't asking. And it's funny. I did that thinking like, oh, I put this great information out there, and then they'll just have it. And I get a lot of thank yous. Like I probably get like 15, 20 messages per live video.
Wow.
Thanking me and like saying appreciate it, or maybe asking further advice. And it's funny because I did that. One of the mindsets was, oh, well, this will kind of like put the information out there and it'll answer the question for a lot of guys, whatever. But fuck, man, they have so many more questions, which like allows me, I guess, to have more Instagram live videos about those subjects eventually, and like add on to stuff or like give, ideas or examples. But the other thing for me was to, I do have a lot of knowledge, and I've been in the sport in all aspects. I've been a timekeeper. I've been a judge. I've been a ref. I've been, promoter, obviously. I've been a matchmaker. I've been a fighter. I've been a coach. I've been, a training partner. I've done it all. There's nothing. Yeah, I haven't been a ring girl or a ring boy, maybe in the future. But aside from that, I've done it all. And you know what? I think I'm gonna do that one time just to like, boom. I
check
did
it off
that
the
too.
damn bucket list already. Be the ring
Right?
boy.
But I want to pass on that knowledge and that advice, because I see these guys sometimes, man. It's like cringeworthy when you see some of the decisions these guys make, and the post like they're looking for sponsors, blah 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 blah, and it's like, man, like you're never gonna get sponsors that way. Like that's not how it works.
Right.
And some really good guys too, or whatever it is. I want to help the sport, and I think that helps the growth altogether. I think if fighters understand how to get sponsors better, like that's just an example of one of the videos we talked about. But if they understand better how to get sponsors, they'll stop looking at promoters as the way to make all the money, which in turn will help the business in general, not just mine, not just Combat Night, but all the events, because they're not being drugged through the mud on the money and the purses. Because for me, when I was fighting, I didn't care what I got paid. Promoter made me an offer of 400 to 400. Okay, cool, deal. I'm 5-1, 5-2, whatever. I'm taking $400. And I got guys who are 1-0 asking for 6-6. It's like, come on, man. Like,
Right.
It's crazy to me. I looked at it as like, this is my opportunity to get sponsors. I have a fight now. Perfect. I can get sponsors. Like, because without a fight, you can't get sponsors. It's just the way it works. So I looked at the promoters as like doing me a favor because they gave me a fight. I never drug them to the mud. And then I would sell so many tickets that they were silly if they didn't want me back. I averaged like $12,000 a show when I fought.
Really? Holy shit.
So I knew how to market. I know how to promote myself as a fighter too, which I think is super important for these guys. Everyone wants to be Conor McGregor, but nobody understands how much work goes into being him and what all he did to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
But so yeah, that was really it. I just wanted to reach more people, and I kind of like telling the stories and stuff. Like I have so many stories. I always tell people that we should have a reality show with the kind of shit that happens at Combat Night. And
I'm in.
Yeah, we do. You do 16, 17 events a year. You don't get to just it's not like a lot of promoters stay to one town. They can really do everything they need to. It's their hometown. They have all these connections. But once you start spreading out, you don't have connections in every town, and you have to rely on people that might not be the best reliable person for you, or you might you start working with camps that you really don't know, you really don't get to train with that much because you're from And that's another thing too. Like I get to train with these guys, so I kind of know who's flaky, who's not, who's reliable, who's not, off their training habits. And a lot of promoters don't get that look, but I do. But again, going to all these towns, oh man, you got to deal with so many more people, and it's just so much easier for stuff to go wrong and to get these stories that are crazy. I've 100 events. I've seen and heard it all at this point. Well, I say that, but in the next event, something will happen.
Well, talking about more towns, Mitchell, we got Jacksonville.
Yes, I think you might see Christian Losin on that as well.
Really?
You might even see your favorite. I think he's your favorite fighter. I don't know.
Beast Boy?
You might.
Oh.
I know. Okay, so yeah, that's November 10th. That's in Jacksonville. We got December 1st, South Florida. We got October 20th,
Yep.
Clash of the Titans. You are absolutely killing this end of the year. We cannot wait. Yeah,
I don't know what I was fucking thinking.
I know. What are you thinking to have so much events? You're killing it.
Yeah,
But
3 pro events and that Clash of Titans event, man. I
know.
got 2 weddings.
Oh my
I just
God.
I don't know what I was thinking. I should have thought better on this, but I'm here now, so I got to figure it out.
You're a busy man, but one thing that we've been talking about is we mentioned it to Dean. He liked the idea is everybody should have, well, what we think. Everybody has a scoreboard in sports, soccer, baseball, football, basketball.
Uh-huh.
And we've just seen so many bad judges, so many bad calls. And it
My
bothers us
God.
because this is people's careers on the line. This isn't
Uh-huh.
just a fight. We think that the judges should submit their score after every single round. The fans see it, coaches see it, fighters see it, so there's no confusion. Anderson, for example, I believe won the fight. It was like respect to both fighters, but I guarantee you if he would have known how the judges would have scored it, he may have acted differently and maybe into that third round really would have gambled for that choke at the end. I just feel that a scoreboard, and Dave feels the same way, would change the whole element of how judges are scoring these fights. Would you like that idea?
So I do like it and I don't like it. I like it because of that reason what you just said.
Right.
I don't like it because if you're up 2 rounds and you know you're up 2 rounds, it's so easy to stall in this sport, and it's so easy to take a round off and to just relax and not try to I'm making sure I don't get knocked out. You see it all the time in the UFC where a guy clearly won the first 2 rounds.
Right.
In the 3rd round, he's just coasting.
But yeah, Mitchell, how about a soccer game if a team is up 3-0 or a football game
they
is up
change the whole
17-0?
defense.
Exactly, they change it up. That's kind of part of the sport is to figure out, hey, to slow it up, slow it down, and I get what you're saying that with the defense, and that's a good point. But I think that what I just said is a plus to it. To me, in a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight, if it's tied 2-2 or 1-1 going into a championship round, that's nothing better. Everyone knows this round wins a championship. That drama would bring, there's that fourth quarter mentality in an NBA game or, overtime in football.
Yeah.
There's not like that in the MMA scene. And I think that would change it around that 30 seconds left. This is tied 2-2. The fighters are going crazy. Mike Perry's throwing freaking elbows like nuts.
Right.
That would just bring another element to this game.
Yeah, I can't say I don't. I like it overall, but I know how easy it is to skate through a round and avoid any. They would have to change. I think they'd have to change the pay scale. Maybe get rid of win bonuses, paying flat fees like they do in boxing, and then giving a finish bonus. So there's still a reason for the guy to want to fight in the 3rd round if he's up 2 rounds.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it'd definitely be done. Just have to be done the right way. I don't see any problem. Like you said, every other sport does, and every other sport changes. When they know they have the lead, they change. But with that being said, I also think the way it is now, I like it because you should always be going for the finish, in my opinion. And if you've been not knowing the scorecards, you should always go for the finish. And you shouldn't just coast or chill, even if you know you won the first 2 rounds.
Right.
I just think that should be the mentality. You're a fighter, right? That's fight. That's the definition of a fighter.
And what you said is a good point, though. If there's an additional bonus, hey, get the finish. It may
A finish bonus, yeah.
It'd encourage the fighter even up 2 rounds. Hey, I can get extra money for my family and I if I win.
I love Anderson a lot. I'm a fan of him as a person.
Right.
But I thought he won. I thought he won too. But I also thought that he coasted off a little bit and he could have finished that fight in the 3rd round. I thought I wish he would have. I don't leave it to the judges, and I feel like that's what the UFC wants to see too. They want to see him get a big finish. So it's just like, there's, like I said, there's pluses and negatives to it. And yeah, I do. I think the boxing judging system, it sucks. But they're going to make mistakes because they're only human, just like us. They're judges too.
Sure.
And we don't know that angle they see. So I always try to think about that in their eyes. But more importantly is, just like they're human, they're going to make mistakes. It just sucks that those mistakes have such a bigger impact on a guy's career.
Exactly.
Like the Anderson Hutchinson situation, it sucks that it plays such a mind. I wish they wouldn't care so much about records in the UFC. I know guys that are 5-2, 5-3 that are fucking amazing fighters, but they fought studs. Everyone they fought was just a stud.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like they deserve to make that walk. They're a hell of a fighter. They're not shying away from anybody. And then to have guys who have pillowed records, just fought bums. They got to 10-0, and they get a chance in the UFC just because their record looks good.
No, that's another great point. Thank you so much, Mitchell, for joining us. We truly appreciate your time. It's only right we ask you this because you're an MMA guru. So it's the fight of the UFC greatest fight of all time, well, biggest fight of all time. I want your final locked-in prediction, Conor McGregor versus Khabib. Who do you have winning? You can go in detail. It could be short, whatever you want, but we have to know who you have.
So Conor has a left hand that can knock out anybody.
Yeah.
And when he fought Jose Aldo, everyone didn't give him a chance in hell. They talked about how it was crazy. Jose Aldo is the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He's not going to beat Jose, and he beat Jose. And then we come to Khabib, and it's the same thing. People are saying he can't beat him. There's no way. The guy is so good because look what Khabib's done to everyone he's fought. Like they forgot about Jose Aldo. And I think the same thing can happen to Khabib on this Saturday, but it's not going to because Khabib's going to fucking maul Conor McGregor. He is going to. Oh man, the meat grinder is going to look like a good thing by the time that Khabib is done with him.
Wow.
I'm telling you,
I thought you were leaning towards Conor starting on this rant.
Smash him. What happened?
I thought you were leaning towards Conor the way you started this rant. I'm like, I think he's pro Conor.
Nah, I just wanted to make you think that. I'm a fan of Conor, and like I said, he has a chance to win. That's all he has is a chance, and I think Khabib's total package, man. He's got the wrestling. He's not afraid to throw some punches either. He'll come forward throwing punches and take you down. A lot of people point to the fact that Michael Johnson wobbled him a little bit. Well, Diaz wobbled Conor, and he took him down, and he submitted him. So I haven't seen that happen to Khabib. And I just don't see where Conor can beat him, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be on its feet very long. And I think that's what's going to happen, man. It's going to maul him. Smash time. Khabib time.
Wow, that's crazy. We cannot wait. Oh,
in fact, what I hope he does, I hope he takes him down and mauls him for 2 rounds and then makes him stand with him.
Mitchell,
wow.
I love you, but I disagree with you. I think Conor gets him. Dave and I talk about it. We could debate this for an hour, but long story short, basically, Khabib is an absolute monster. Dave and I both believe it. If he gets a hold of a foot, he gets you down and he mauls you, and that very well can happen. But we say it all the time. Conor's a moments guy. He's all about movement and timing. And all honesty, I think Khabib does leave himself open when transitioning to those takedowns or trying to grab a limb. And that's what Conor's all about, is that timing. So as much as Dave, you had the perfect comparison. Maybe 8 out of 10 times Khabib wins, these 2 live times, Conor clips him.
98 out of 100 times, I think Khabib wins the fight. This time, this Saturday night, T-Mobile Arena, it's the moment. Conor McGregor does not let these moments go. He's going to knock out Khabib in the second round. You heard it here first.
I say first, but...
Wow.
So...
Yeah, take it away, buddy.
You think LeBron James could be in the UFC?
Oh, that's Max.
Boy.
That's Max.
Not
I'm
now.
going to leave it at that.
Not now.
That's
I said if he were to start his career, I may not have said that, but I rephrase it now. If he were to restart his career and focus on MMA, that he could.
Oh, now you didn't say that. That's completely different.
I revised my statement.
We even discussed it in detail where I was like, man, look, he gets upset when he gets slapped playing basketball. And
he's playing to the refs. It's all about longevity. If he's in there, he's throwing people out of the octagon. Come on now.
Oh, man. Hey, Mitchell.
Lord.
October
of course he would. He's an athlete, super athlete.
He is.
Anybody who's on that level, even if they're not LeBron James, if they had decided to do MMA instead, they would be successful at it. They just make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Playing basketball or football or baseball or whatever sport it is. Maybe not baseball. Those guys are kind of but definitely football and basketball.
Wow, man. Mitchell, October 20th, Clash of the Titans 2. November 10th, Jacksonville Combat Night Pro 9. December 1st, South Florida back again. Take it away. The floor is yours if you want to talk about the events or how to get tickets or sell T-shirts. Whatever you want, my man. Take it away.
It's just real simple. CombatNight.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Combat Night MMA. Give us a follow and just see what we're all about. I promise you, we're a different show. I tell everyone all the time that we're not just another MMA event. We actually bring something different to the fans. So check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving us your time. You know you're always welcome. When Conor knocks out Khabib, you'll be the first person I call.
Listen, man, I hope you text me because I'm gonna text you.
Sounds good.
Whenever Khabib knocks him out.
Here it is. It's on record. Locked in. I will call Mitchell. He will text me. We'll see what happens.
Have a good night, guys.
You
Later,
too.
man. Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, you now locked in with the best. We ain't rocking with the rest. And when it's game time, we gon' put you to the test. Come the ball, we hitting it, kicking it, though. We dribbling, passing it, though. We running, no risk the ring that we flip you in. So what's the news? You want the scoop? You gotta keep it locked. To David Max podcast through your speaker box. What's poppin', my friend? You know the drop in. And the only thing left to do is keep it locked in.